All right, man.
What's up, everybody? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. We are on mission at Bethany House, and I'm here with Twitch from the ShieldBearer of Faith channel, which is the opposite of suck. And for real, I'm not just saying this because you're here. I watch your videos. I am better for the watching of your videos, and I appreciate it. And I would recommend that you all do the same thing.
I appreciate that.
And so we're going to play some 20 questions or something like that, right?
All right.
I have some prepared questions for you.
Which I have not read yet.
No, I'm ambushing you with these. And you can ask me questions, either the same question that I ask you or a different question.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, now that we've established the ground rules.
And a solo cup of coffee.
And a solo cup of not coffee.
Not coffee for him, but coffee for me.
Okay, the winner of the arm wrestle goes first. If you could live anywhere, where would you live?
Oh, man. If my state would stop being stupid. In Virginia. I honestly love Virginia. And part of that's because the people I care about the most are in Virginia. If that changed, I would want to be wherever they are. But it's, unfortunately, Virginia's being weird right now with some of their laws, and I've already been talking about some of that. We won't waste time there, but wherever my family is a big thing. With that said, my wife and I do crave having a close-knit, literally a physically, tangibly close community, and I would love for my family to be part of that. So that's up to God. We've been praying for a while about it, though.
He'll deliver.
Yeah, he will.
If you're supposed to have it, he will. I mean, I'm living proof of it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where it really comes in for me, the faith part, is that we have to continue to ask with any chance of receiving what he wants for us.
Yep.
What about for you? You like where you're at?
Is this my question?
Oh yeah, we'll go with that for now.
I love where I'm at. What I don't love about where I'm at is that it has rained nonstop this winter, and I have mud everywhere, and I'm over mud. I told my wife recently, I said, if it does not stop raining, I either need to get onto a plane and go where it's not raining, or jump off a tall building, because that's where I'm at. But I love where I live. And I love where I live for a handful of reasons. The first is there's no doubt that we were planted there. It's exactly where we were supposed to be. I've talked about that on camera.
Yeah, and I've seen you talk about it.
Yeah, we had that ton of bricks moment. I mean, the Father just punched me and said, you are home. Be here. I need you here.
And I have not had that moment yet, and that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on God to literally do that. And until then, I feel like I'm supposed to keep waiting.
Well, one of the things that he made really clear to me was, because we were praying for land, living in suburbia, talking a big game about agriculture and doing nothing. And so we got really serious about team building, agriculture, just all the things that we teach and preach now, we still did on a third of an acre. And because I felt like an a-hole asking the Father for more when I wasn't even using what I already had.
With that in mind, my wife and I have chickens. We've actually birthed our own chickens by now. That was cool.
Nice.
We've now killed all the roosters again, and we still have a little bit to the positive of hens and plenty of eggs right now. With that, though, we just this season prepared the land, I guess last season kind of, prepared the land so we could hopefully have twice, maybe even 3 times the garden space we had last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for the same exact concept.
That's awesome, man. Question 2. Best advice you ever got? And we can skip at any point and come back if you'd like, if you want more time to think about it.
I'll need to think about that one in a minute.
Okay. Question 3. Food you will miss in SHTF.
I really like pizza. Really like pizza.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, and the ingredients are hard to get all together if you can't go to the store. My wife has been doing a lot with straight from her own grinding of wheat to making bread.
Yep.
And she's steadily having the issue of if we don't have yeast, it might be hard to get.
Yep.
So without that, pizza might just not be the same.
Yeah. Interestingly, my answer to that question is pizza. That's pretty much it. There's a lot of things that I feel like I want, and I want it right now.
Yep.
But those cravings don't really last very long, other than pizza.
Yep.
I'll get on a kick where I'm like, I haven't had a slice of pizza in a week, and I need to rectify this.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do it. I'll drive an hour.
And the funny thing for me is, with me having Tourette's and twitching, yeast specifically does different stuff to me. It makes me twitch more, so it's kind of like punishing me for having pizza. And it takes about a day, maybe 48 hours to actually kick in.
Wow.
But within 48 hours, I will be able to tell, and so will my wife, or anybody that knows my normal mannerisms, they'll be like, oh, you had to have pizza. I can tell when my body is punishing me for the calories.
That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, mine is just, the way I know is when I'm extra fat. That's how I know I've been having pizza.
It's that quality bloating that it does.
High quality bloating. Hey, it got quiet over there.
Oh, yeah.
Over here in the rest of the 50s diner that we're hanging out in right
This is a
now.
really cool facility, though.
Oh, this place is a blessing, man. To have this available to us to deploy into, it's what I've been saying. I feel spoiled. This is like, it's like a men's retreat with intermittent construction versus a deployment where if you're used to living in a disaster zone in a wall tent, and then you got, heat, hot water, commercial kitchen, a bed.
We even had sunshine.
And
today.
sunshine, yeah. Most irrational fear.
It probably is rational for me in my mind, but I am not a fan of heights.
Okay.
So that was caused by my dad, who is my best friend, mentor, and so many things. But when I was a kid, I didn't mind heights. My dad got it in his mind. He wanted to get his pilot's license for hot air balloons, right? So you're hanging from a wicker basket by 4 rows. At least that's what my mind remembers this as. And you're only going up and down. You have no control over left and right. And he had to do this final test where he had to go to 10,000 feet in his hot air balloon. And me being the loyal son I was dumb enough to go with him. And when we get to that 10,000 feet mark and you're just like, wow, the world is a lot smaller down there and you have no chance of surviving if you fall, it takes a good father to take that basket when he sees you're shaking and shake it. Just takes the whole basket and he says, oh, it's not that bad. And he just starts violently thrashing that basket to the point where I sat down in the basket.
Oh, man.
And have not liked heights since.
So, I actually don't have a problem with heights.
Okay.
And that scenario skeeves me out. I'm not cool with that.
It's better if you were there. At like 7 years old. Good quality fatherhood.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Can't pay for those experiences.
You gotta ask me some questions.
All right, let's see. What would you say the best advice you got is?
I briefly mentioned this in a video, and I don't know if it has posted or not yet, but my dad told me, and has told me many times, son, you can do anything you want to do, just start. And
That's real good.
and not like, you know how a lot of parents are like, oh, Billy's very talented. He can be anything he wants to be. It's like, no, Billy's not that talented.
That's
You're
a modern
delusional.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not how my dad is. And what he was saying was, and what he taught me through this was, you gotta start. At some point, you got to quit thinking about it, start doing it. At some point, you gain enough momentum from the doing of that this thing that you're doing starts to grow its own legs. It becomes real, right? And so, for me, and I've over the years grown to understand the wisdom that my dad has had at times when motivating me. For him to tell me to start was very specific to me. I mean, look at where we sit right now.
Yep.
Now, there's no doubt that this is the hand of the Father.
I totally agree with that.
Right? This is the hand of the Father. But it took us starting to get to this point. And so, that's, for me, the best advice I've ever got is just start. Just start doing it, and you'll gain momentum. You'll quit with the paralysis by analysis. Just start. So.
Mine is probably similar. To go back to that question for me, the best advice, and mine is probably twofold, both from my parents though. So I remember this one moment when I was getting ready to embark on a new path in life, and my dad was standing there in front of me, and I was getting ready to go in that path, that direction. I won't go into that, but I was getting ready to go down that way, and he told me, he's like, Get in there and don't quit. And it's kind of the same thing, and that's such a simple statement, but it is not simply applied. And it seems to be a foreign concept, and at my time in life, it was a foreign concept to me. I didn't have the don't quit mentality. I didn't have that. And that had to be built at some point, which then the second fold of this thing was God was the most important. And so I didn't have that drive to not give up and not quit at that time. After I gave my life to Christ, and this translates into most things in my life, including my marriage, is now there is no quit in my mind for my marriage. It's like we can endure, we can go through, we can do whatever God puts us through in the marriage, because there is no quit. There's no way out in my mind.
That option's not even
It's
on
not
the
even
table.
there. And so once I won't quit, I cannot stop, I will not, I will not say die. You know, that's a term you hear a lot from PJ on here.
Yep.
Is when you get that,
Who's
and
PJ?
Sorry, guys. Reference to his channel, I'm sure you know. But when you get past that moment of, you know, I have no way out, this is where I will fight this, whatever it is.
Yep.
You become a very capable or dangerous person, depending on the role. And I think that was probably the best thing for me.
I love that. That's awesome. What's the nerdiest thing you've ever done?
Oh, I got this. I got this. I have done some unusual things. So, I have two that would categorize here. One of which was incredibly nerdy. We'll do that in a second. I went to Las Vegas 4 times prior to becoming a Christ follower to play dodgeball. Dodgeball. I used to go to tournaments to play dodgeball. Now, that was not the nerdiest necessarily, but it's definitely odd. Then, I used to do something called dagger here, which is LARPing.
Nice.
It is literally like medieval combat with foam swords. And y'all don't
Were
look it
you
up.
a human or a troll?
Oh no, I was definitely human. Yeah,
Okay.
I was Twitch there too, but yeah, but it was definitely nerdy. But I drug my wife to do it, and that's how you know you have a good wife.
That's awesome.
When she'll go beat people with foam objects. She's a keeper.
But you know, it's funny you bring that up because the next question is melee combat.
Oh boy.
100 chicken-sized T-Rexes or 1 T-Rex-sized chicken. Which would you rather battle in melee combat?
You gotta say that again.
100 chicken-sized T-Rexes or 1 T-Rex-sized chicken.
So I have to go with the chicken-sized T-Rexes.
Okay.
Even as numerous as they may be, I have successfully had to boot chickens a few times, and they're not going to withstand my boot.
Right.
So I could successfully apply boot force to 100 chicken-sized
100 of them
T-Rexes.
at the same time if they were all coming for you?
Gotta be able to run.
Okay.
They won't be able to grab you with those little bitty arms.
So you haven't asked me, but I'm answering.
Okay,
your
I'm
question.
sorry.
No,
All
it's
mine.
cool.
All
It's
mine.
cool. There's a part of me, and I'm willing to admit it's all ego.
Okay.
It's like I'm killing that T-Rex sized chicken with an axe. That's what's going down.
Straight out of Rain of Fire. Jumping off that building.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
And
with a foam sword.
no, not with a foam sword. With an axe.
It won't work. Yeah, foam sword.
And maybe a chainsaw.
Yeah,
But I'm killing that thing. And then when people are like, what happened? Like, we have dinner now.
There you
All
go.
of us.
For a while.
The whole village can eat now.
So here's a question for you. What would you say the worst occupation you've ever had was?
Oh, this is easy. The first real job I ever had, because I worked, we had a farm growing up, and I worked for my dad doing, power construction, telecom kind of stuff. And but the first job I ever had, where I was a W-9 employee,
Okay.
was at Wally's Ice Cream Parlor in New City, New York, and I got fired within a month because I was a metalhead, wore all black.
Making ice cream.
Yeah, making ice cream, and Wally was like, "Hey kid," and I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "You're fired." It's like, "Why am I fired?" He goes, "You're never happy." And I was like, "Neither are you. You're kind of like an evil bastard." He goes, "Yeah, but I own the place. You're fired." And I got fired, and then never went to Wally's again.
I won't go into it, but I've been hearing a lot about his previous bosses in the past day. Some of them make you wonder.
I might shoot a video on that guy at one point.
Then he'll find you in your back seat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, inside there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, that'd be an issue. What is something that you've changed your mind on recently? You know, or the last significant thing that you felt one way about something and now you feel differently about it?
Honestly, I could probably, since we've been joking, this one's pretty back to serious. With all the gun rights conversation in Virginia, not but 6 months ago max, I was saying, you know, wholeheartedly, it's like I you know, don't foresee me ever leaving Virginia. Like I said, my family's there, the stuff I love there, my job I love is there. And when that conversation came up, to be fully open to whatever God wants to do, my wife and I at least had to contemplate the possibility of leaving Virginia, at least as an option. So again, I don't want to do that, but we're leaving all options open to whatever God wants to do. And that's a big one for me. Is up to that point, I had never thought about leaving. Never had a reason to.
That's a good answer. What's something silly that you do?
So with this one's cute, silly, I guess. With my daughter, who's almost 3, I do what I call butterflies on her face, and she loves it. She loves it. And to just simulate with Bear here, it's like you start kind of pucking your lips and doing this like fluttering kind of sound, like, and you bring them closer and closer until you actually lightly land the butterfly on her face, and it wanders around her face, and she just, you know, she'll sit there all still, and then when you'll flutter it away, and she loves it. Yeah, so that's pretty
cool.
silly.
That's a good answer. I like
What about
that.
you?
Similar scenario.
He does butterflies to his kid too.
No, not butterflies, but my oldest is 13, female.
We spent a lot of time together, man.
Yeah, you guys have been hanging out a lot today because she's interested in law enforcement, and I said, you know what, you need to go hang out with Twitch. Maybe he'll, you know, disabuse you of some of your assumptions about
Change
what
your whole view.
Yeah, what it's like to be law enforcement. And so, but she and I, it's difficult with the 13-year-old girl, right? It's also, frankly, difficult because I'm not her biological father.
Sure.
Now, I've been her father for the last 9 years of her life.
Yeah.
But while we love each other and we have an excellent relationship, sometimes you find some days you're this close, other days you're this close, and there's always that kind of, that dance of finding your way back and forth to each other. And so sometimes, and I don't dance for anybody or anything. I don't even dance with my wife, but I will dance with my 13-year-old daughter, right?
That's adorable.
And goofy, you know, sometimes just cause, because we need that thing sometimes to bring us back together, you know?
It's amazing what daughters do to you.
Oh, man. There's not a boy on this planet I won't kill and put in a compost pile for that little girl.
One of the only times my wife has ever seen me cry, and it wasn't like a I can't function cry, it was just that, you know, waterfall thing that I'm still functioning, was the day my daughter was born.
Yep.
And it was my first child. It was just the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
And yeah, that connection has not stopped. I mean, so I get it. The stuff you'll do for your daughter.
Yep. What's something you're excited about in 2020?
So again, kind of twofold. Part of it's excitement, part of it is anxiousness, but I have given it to God. Is whatever's going to go on with the laws in Virginia. But with that, it gives a big opportunity because of the uncertainty of it. It gives a big opportunity for God to move. And it has caused me to be reminded that I'm not in control and I need to stop trying to be. And you know, that's missed a lot. It doesn't mean that you don't prep stuff. It doesn't mean that you don't carry a gun. It doesn't mean you don't carry medical stuff or whatever your thing is. It doesn't mean you stop doing those things. It just means that you remember that you are only a tool. You're not the one wielding the tool. And so to kind of be able and willing to submit yourself to the authority of God and just understand that He's got it covered, even if it doesn't go the way I want. Even if it goes full-blown gun confiscation, the world is still in His hand.
Amen.
And it's, I truly believe, still part of His plan. I would just prefer it to go a certain way. You know, because I am human and I do have my opinions, but whatever God wants is the way it is. And then this, literally this trip, I was real excited about this, and I'm still excited to be here.
That would be my answer to this question, and great answer, by the way. I'm super excited for Grindstone in 2020. We just get better and better at what we do.
There's some cool people here.
There
From
are-
everywhere.
Yeah, from everywhere. And, you know, I was telling my wife, I said one of the reasons I'm so excited is selfishly, these things are becoming like family reunions to me.
It even feels that way.
Yeah, I get to see a bunch of people that I love that I don't often get to fellowship with. And then, like I said, this deployment almost feels like a men's retreat with intermittent construction. But we're forging strategic alliances. We're partnering with really good causes, and the competency of the people that we have on board has never been higher. And so I'm just excited about it because I like flexing this muscle. Sure. You know, I just really feel passionately about this, and it's a fairly unique ministry because there are other construction ministries. I mean, Habitat for Humanity. Come on, you know.
Yep.
But we're not big. We're not extremely well funded. We're not well known, and we're still winning significant battles for the kingdom, and being a blessing and being blessed in the process. So
Something interesting I noticed today about this organization is multiple points today I mentally acknowledged nobody was complaining about anything. It didn't matter that it was, cold this morning. It didn't matter that, nobody had a hot shower this morning. Literally, no one cared. No one even brought it up as a negative. Everybody brought it up as, we can fix this today. They brought it up as something that they can tangibly commit and do in the 24-hour span that today was. And there was no negativity. There was no arguments. It was, people really wanted to be here.
that's a great point, man. You're absolutely right. We have the best people, man, and that's
Trump might think he does.
but tremendous.
But tremendous.
Believe me, I wish he would build this wall here. It's beautiful. Believe me. Yeah, man. It's the honor of a lifetime.
Yeah.
If you could have a billboard, and it would be in, and I stole this question from Tim Ferriss,
Okay.
who I don't want to say a big fan of, because he's into some weird stuff, but I listen to his podcast and I've read his books. This is a common question he asks. If you could have a billboard for free and it'd be in every major city and everybody would have to see it, what would your billboard say? What would you tell the world on a billboard?
For me, I tried to make my body a billboard as best I can with my tattoos of "Here I am, send me," because that's exactly how I view doing things like this, or doing things like police work, or military, or EMS, or banking, or whatever your thing is. When you do it out of the genuine condition of the heart that you are wanting to serve God, you're wanting to serve other people in His name. You're saying, I hear the voice of the Lord say, who shall I send and who will go for us? And I said, here I am, send me. And the Lord said, go. That would be my billboard.
That's awesome.
Because if we all functioned in that mindset of, it ain't about me, it's about Him, and as long as I'm serving Him and I'm trying to volunteer my skills, talents, and time for whatever His goal is, we wouldn't have the nuts stuff that we've got in the world. We would have a better kingdom of heaven here.
Agreed. That's awesome.
What about you?
Mine would very probably say, save the world one soul at a time.
That's another really good one.
Because I think we are supposed to save the world.
Yep.
I think we are supposed to be the hands and feet of Messiah. We are supposed to serve that kingdom and show up when the Father taps you on the chest and says, hey, I need you to go.
Yep.
Here I am, send me. But I think a lot of people get so wrapped up in, well, the world's a mess, and we're going to enter into nuclear war with Iran and the coronavirus, and it's, right, save the world one soul at a time. Whether it's your little sister, or your next door neighbor, or your best friend, or your mom, or the guy across the street from you, or whatever. Those are the people. The Father puts you in place for these people for a reason. And one of the best things that has ever happened to me is I have had a mindset shift where I've come to understand that my interactions with people is an exchange. I have something for them, they have something for me. Maybe it's a lesson, maybe it's just shining light on something that I should have seen but I didn't. But I have something for them. And if I can save that one person, right, whether in your case it's physically affixing a tourniquet to stem the flow of an arterial bleed, or introducing them to their Father in heaven through the Messiah, right, ministering to them, meeting their worldly needs so that you can meet their eternal needs. Save the world one soul at a time. And if you do that, at the end of an age, you'll look back and realize you did save the world. You've got tens, hundreds, thousands of souls to your credit by the hand of the Father, instead of trying to save the whole world.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, we always look at the worldly issues, rightfully so. There's plenty of them. We live in a fallen world. There's no shortage of issues. But even if we never had another war, and all of our worldly issues went away, if you don't share Jesus through action and words, if you didn't do that, they're still lost in the end. It doesn't do you any good. And so many times, I've heard some really, really bad statistics on how infrequent people that profess that they would believe in and follow Jesus, how infrequent they actually try to talk about what Christ has done to them with their testimony, or how infrequent they talk about God in any way, much less actually representing Him as an emissary for Him. And it's kind of disturbing because you're talking about not just life and death here. You're talking about forever suffering that you cannot escape from or not. It is literally, what's going on, guys? It's literally the worst possible outcome you can have forever. If you saw somebody walking up to a Walmart with a firearm and start shooting, would you not tell people to get away and try to stop the loss of life? That's literally the comparison we're talking about, is we have a situation on this planet where we literally will either go to heaven or hell. And your options are none, there's no other options. You are going to one or the other. And if you say that you believe and follow Jesus, and you don't try to stem that loss of life, who are you really serving? And so often it gets stopped by embarrassment and worldly pressures. And if nothing else, that's what I think we're both trying to do in our videos, is trying to stem that loss of life.
Well, and yeah, absolutely. And give you all the courage to talk to the people you need to talk to. I love this. If I can be your cover fire so that you can maneuver on the target that you're trying to hit, oh, I'm in. And you can even blame it on that guy on the internet. Like, oh, I watched this video and I don't. Good. Lean on us until you're strong enough to lean on yourself. But go out there, share the gospel with people, serve the kingdom, do your best to make the Father smile every day, walk daily with your Messiah. And, I said today, man, you handle the kingdom's business, everything else takes care of itself.
That is true.
It's incredible.
It's amazing what God does.
Oh, undeniable.
I really appreciate it, man.
Likewise. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Again, Bear Independent, ShieldBearer of Faith.
Twitch from ShieldBearer of Faith, one of the handful of YouTube channels that I am both subscribed to and watch. And I'm not saying that facetiously, so.
Well, I don't deserve that, but thank you. Thank you.
Bless you, brother.
I appreciate it.
Shalom, y'all.